wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before. I like me better, I like me better.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So you already see the title. Let's just get right into it. So I've noticed recently that I've seen a whole lot more posts, people saying things like, what happened to Fashion Nova? Gee, Fashion Nova really fell off. Fashion Nova used to be that girl. It's not giving what it used to give when you try shopping on there. And y'all already know when people start talking like that, my job over here is to start analyzing some of the reasons why people might be feeling that way. So I'm sure most of you here already know what Fashion Nova is. You probably clicked on the video because you're happy to hear that they might be having a downfall. But for the few who probably don't know what Fashion Nova is a very popular clothing brand. They really popped off years ago, around the time where social media was popping off, around the time where the idea of an influencer was popping off, and also around the time where it wasn't so cool or trendy to be shopping at mall stores. And by mall stores, I mean, you know, American Eagle, Zara, Forever 20, well, no, not Zara, H&M, you know, stores in the mall. Now, of course, those stores, well, some of them still exist, but the difference between shopping at those stores and shopping at some of the stores like Fashion Nova, you can clearly tell that there's been a difference in recent years, right? So all of those things, all that combination kind of helped push Fashion Nova's rise to the top as people saw it, right? It's a popular company that celebrities were wearing because they were being paid to wear it. And celebrities were wearing it because even celebrities don't always want to, you know, run up a Gucci bill, don't always want to run up a Louis Vuitton bill. So just like the non-celebrities like shopping there, people like shopping at Fashion Nova because it's affordable. Well, it's more affordable than other places. So celebrities helped the rise of Fashion Nova. Influencers helped with the rise of fashion. There was a time years ago where if you wanted views, just run yourself a little cart at Fashion Nova, go home, film a try-on video, post it, you were going to get views. That company try-on haul, which to the day, like, we'll probably still do. But again, you can start to tell that things are not the same, right? But that was going to get you views because it was like everyone was shopping there. And when I say everyone was shopping there, I mean everyone was shopping there because Fashion Nova is gonna give you like a little bit of everything, right? Now, when I say there were people who probably don't know what Fashion Nova is, there are like a few reasons why you might not. One of them being the style clothing that they sell is not for you. But they've gotten to a place where they're like, we want a little bit of everything, so we're gonna give you a little bit of everything, right? So if you don't want club, we're gonna give you country. If you don't want country, we're going to give you alternative. Like, Fashion Nova wants a little bit of everything, right? So for the most part, you can find a little bit of every aesthetic that you want on Fashion Nova, but there are still some people, like, just in general, they're not shopping at Fashion Nova. But because they offered all these aesthetics on their site, that's also another reason why they were so popular. And then they started adding all these like sister brands to it. So there was another big Fashion Nova, and there's Fashion Nova Men, there's Fashion Nova Curve. Is there like a toddler option on Fashion Nova? Like, don't they offer toddler outfits as well? I wouldn't be surprised if they do. You know, I've seen people do back to school try-on hauls from Fashion Nova. People like, back to school? You're 16 years old. Why are you shopping at Fashion Nova? I'm telling you, they just offer everything. Like, there's a little bit of something for everyone. You can do office work at Fashion Nova, club work, club attire, travel, like just a little bit of everything, right? But like I said, in recent months, I've noticed a lot more people saying, oh, Fashion Nova fell off, Fashion Nova fell off. These are some of my reasons why. The first reason why Fashion Nova is fast fashion. And also in recent years, people have been paying more attention to, you know, climate change, to world issues, community issues, all that stuff. And they have been speaking out more and more on how fast fashion doesn't help the environment because of how fast fashion is produced, because of the way people are consuming fast fashion. Again, yeah, you were going to get views if you went out and did a $2,500 Fashion Nova haul, but people started pointing out like, okay, but all those clothes are going to end up in a landfill because they're the quality of the clothing after a couple wears, you're gonna throw it away, and it's gonna end up in a landfill. Like, people started pointing more and more of that out, so that people started making the decision that they wanted to shop smarter when it comes to the clothing. Like, if I have to save a little bit more so I can buy the $100 shirt compared to the, you know, I can get 17 pieces for $100 from one place, then that's what I'm going to do. So the fast fashion part of Fashion Nova has had a couple people pull away from the company. Another thing that Fashion Nova has received criticism for is the models that they choose to use on their website. The best way I can describe it is they get criticism for their models because they seem to use the same exact body type with all of their models, and the body type, now listen, I don't want to assume anything about anyone's body. That's not my style to talk about people in that way, but that they use models who have, you know, a surgically enhanced hourglass shape, a BBL shape. Those are the only type of models that they use. So people started pointing out that, one, it's not realistic because the average person does not look like that, and two, that it's harmful because it is creating an image of, you know, what you're supposed to look like. Which is funny because I saw a tweet by Aaliyah's Face a while ago. I don't remember when she made it, but she had shown 2 pairs of pants, and she was saying between the 2 pants, which one would you be more inclined to purchase, the one on the left or the one on the right? And when you went through the comments, most people were saying the one on the right. Now, the one on the right had that, you know, body type that you're more frequently going to see on Fashion Nova. And then after, you know, everyone said which pair they would want, she came out and she said they're the same pair of pants. They're just shown on 2 different body types. So again, it's kind of like reinforcing how, because Fashion Nova just had the same type of body type, you, in your mind, like, you start thinking for you to like clothes or for you to look good when you're wearing clothes, you have to have this type of body type, right? Not only that, but people started pointing out that, you know, not only did the models all have like the same body type, but the models typically had the same type of skin tone. They varied there, it wasn't diverse or anything like that. So that is also something that people were like, well, if I don't see myself, if I can't see what I look like in the clothes, like, I don't want to say realistically, because there are people who naturally look how a surgically enhanced BBL body is supposed to look. So I don't want to say, again, like I'm saying, that is never my vibe, right? But you get what I'm trying to say. If I can't see that, then I don't want to shop here. It's also another reason why the company was so popular at one point, because it was like people were going to buy the stuff so I can show you what it really looks like. You know, when people do those makeup videos where they're like, I'm going to give you an honest review, kind of insinuating that the people who don't put honest in the title aren't being honest. It was kind of the same thing where it's like, well, since this is what all the models look like and this is what the influencers look like, I'm going to show you what it looks like on someone who's actually realistic to you. That also kind of made Fashion Nova a little more popular, but because that's what the website looked like, people were like, I'm not feeling this. Another thing that kind of started to hurt Fashion Nova is celebrities and influencers. Ironic, because celebrities and influencers are what helped put Fashion Nova on, but we've talked about this before, where 2 things can be true at the same time. Yes, they did help you, and yes, it is hurting you. It's hurting you for some reasons with celebrities, because one, celebrity, like, think Cardi B. Cardi B is probably like the first person I can think of as far as a celebrity who really helped put Fashion Nova on. You can probably even think of that one picture that I swear I still see going around nowadays. It's like her in some Fashion Nova jeans. I think she's wearing like a red corset or something like that. Like, you probably already know what picture I'm talking about. She is definitely one of the celebrities that helped put Fashion Nova on. She's had her own collection with Fashion Nova. Meg Thee Stallion's had a collection with Fashion Nova. I'm sure other people, but those are the 2 that I remember, right? But Cardi B now is not Cardi B, I don't know, in 2014, 15, when she was like their face of the company, right? Yeah, I'm sure she still wears fast fashion. I'm sure I still see her in, you know, Fashion Nova, or I know I see her in J Lux label sometimes. But Cardi B is one of the biggest celebrities out there right now. You know, she's at this fashion week, she's at that fashion week, she's doing Harper's Bazaar cover, all that stuff. She is elevated in always as a person in her fashion sense. She doesn't wear it as much. You're not getting as many ads in that sense. And then another celebrity that, you know, I can say, oh, they kind of help put Fashion Nova on, is Black China. Again, I'm sure Black China still kind of wears Fashion Nova, still wears that aesthetic, all that stuff, right? But again, like, I'll be trying to like not sound mean in these type of things. Actually, I feel like I've heard Black China say that herself before, or maybe someone reported it. Like her booking fees nowadays was not what it was days ago, because there's always going to be a new batch of influencer, a new batch of celebrities who are like top reigning, top girls that everyone is flocking to. So it's like, in that sense, you know, which it kind of leads over to influencers. In that sense, it was like people moved on to who was going to put them on to clothing sites, to clothes that they want to wear, to styles that they want to mimic. People kind of moved on. So that's another reason why, you know, it started to hurt them as far as celebrities go. And moving on to influencers, like I said, there's always a new batch of influencers, and there's always a new batch of trends that influencers are going to flock to, so those influencers can continue influencing with the stuff that they're going to get, right? So yes, years ago, influencers who did Fashion Nova hauls, they were going to ring in like 6-figure views, right? But, which also kind of leads into the next thing, those influencers moved on to other brands. Because another reason that is hurting Fashion Nova is competition. Competition within that fast fashion social media type brand. I already said companies like Forever 21, H&M, store brands, mall brands, they still exist, right? But and they're fast fashion as well, but I consider them mall brands, store brands. We're talking like fast fashion social media brands. You're thinking Fashion Nova, Pretty Little Thing, who else? J Lux label, My Outfit. There's so many. Like, it's just competition. It's competition for Fashion Nova. So the influencers kind of moved on to all these other brands, because those brands now are the ones who are going to ring them in. They're going to ring them in the money. They're going to ring them in the views. Because another thing with Fashion Nova that, you know, people were complaining about over the years is that, yes, they were using influencers, and influencers were very beneficial to them, but they didn't want to pay influencers. You know, they were which is not shocking for them as a brand, just a lot of brands in general. They wanted to offer you, what's the word? Come on, they wanted to offer you exposure. They wanted to offer you free clothes. And for some people, they would want to take that, but a lot of people were like, no, because you're $1 million, I don't know how many millions, billions they're worth now, because you're using me in that sense, so you can do more than just give me free clothes, or you can do more than give me exposure on your Instagram page, which nowadays being reposted on Instagram isn't doing that much for exposure. Again, back in the day on Instagram, if, you know, a company that had 2 million followers reposted you, you could walk away with 10,000 followers. Could you still do that today? Maybe. But a lot of people will tell you like they get reposted on company sites now, and if they crack 100 followers from that, I guess be happy about that. So exposure nowadays is not really doing much for influencers. So they went to the companies that were going to pay them, that were, you know, that were going to be beneficial in both ways for them, because it is what's more trendy now. So they moved on to those companies, and then those companies, especially Shein, Shein is, if you could say like one of these companies is really putting the nail in the coffin for Fashion Nova, it is Shein, because you see how popular Shein has become in recent years, right? Granted, even though Shein has some of the other issues that Fashion Nova has, again, that's just the time that we're in right now. But those companies are also learning from some of Fashion Nova's mistakes. You remember the model thing where I was like, people kind of shied away from Fashion Nova because all the models look the same? They saw that and they were like, that's not what we're going to do. And that's what you're supposed to do, okay? That is what you're supposed to do. When you're supposed to watch what your competitor's doing and then not do that. When you see them getting dragged for something, you're not supposed to do that. So they said, oh, they getting dragged because, you know, everyone has the BBL body on your site and people are saying it's not realistic. So even though technically, yes, all the sites that I just mentioned kind of stick to still a model figure of slim and stuff like that, but they incorporate a couple more different body types. You know, you'll see a couple more plus size on there. You'll see a couple more skin tones on there. You'll see really, really petite, or, you know, petite and slender, or petite and still has an hourglass figure. You'll see a little more tall. You'll see a little more of this. You'll see, again, you see a little bit more of it, because we're not going to give them too much credit. We're really not. But again, their competitors are kind of learning from them. Their competitors are kind of doing a little bit more when it comes to, you know, how they work business-wise with influencers. So the competitors are also hurting Fashion Nova. And I have one more thing for what is causing people to kind of fall. Actually, I have two more things for what is causing people to fall off from Fashion Nova. The next one is the controversies. At this point, like, when something new comes out about Fashion Nova, as far as controversy goes, you're just like, okay, like, it's Fashion Nova. You should kind of know that by now. Like, if you're still shopping there, you're shopping there because you know all of this and you're choosing to do that. You can't really say like you're shocked that it's happening. One of them is that they are accused often. They are accused often of stealing designs from small designers, stealing designs from Black designers. I think there's been a couple lawsuits as far as the designs, and the thing is, yes, it hurts Fashion Nova, but it's again another reason why people like shopping at places like Fashion Nova, at places like you know, Pretty Little Thing, Shein, all that other stuff, because those companies, I feel like they kind of let it be known they're gonna take the ideas of what's trendy and what's popular, but what's more money that most people can't afford, so they're gonna come give you the same thing. I've seen where, you know, you could see a post of a Gucci sweater, something like that, and people are like, oh, I'm gonna wait for Fashion Nova, they should have this on their site by like the morning. Like, people are wanting that. They want the cheaper option on Shein, on Fashion Nova, on Pretty Little Thing. So like, it's like it's a battle where there's one side and they like that about them. There's another side where they do not like that. They do not like the fact that they take designs from other, because I mean, it kind of makes sense why people would say it's not okay for you to take designs from other people, especially when you are taking designs from other people who, yes, their stuff might cost more, but it costs more because they're a smaller company, they're a smaller business. It costs more because, you know, they might be hand making their items, whereas because Fashion Nova is $1 million company, they can afford to have the stuff up on the website by the next day. They can afford, you know, quicker restocks. They can afford all that stuff. So is it really fair that you're taking these designs from these smaller people? You're taking those opportunities away from those people with concepts that they came up with just because you have more access, because you have more money, because you can more, right? So that is a reason. That's a controversy that they are often called out for. I never really catch like if they ever address any of those, like if they ever address any of that, if like what happens out of that, because I choose not to like follow with what's going on with Fashion Nova. Another, like I mentioned, not wanting to pay influencers. I've seen several videos of influencers talking about their relationship with Fashion Nova, what's going on with trying to do business with them, how they do want to pay some people, they don't want to pay some people, how different things like skin tone or body size can affect how they want to work with you. Another controversy that, which I don't even remember like if it's been fixed or what happened with that. There was a time, and don't quote me because it might be something that's actually still happens with Fashion Nova, where like with returns, you couldn't return, like get your money back or something, which back in the day when I still shopped there, I've had to deal with that a couple times. You know, you buy something, you get it in person, you're like, it's not really giving like what I thought it was going to give in person, or you know, like it came back damaged, or it came to you damaged, it didn't fit, you got the wrong size, something like that. Like they were only giving you store credit. So, you know, you return it and then you have credit to shop on the website, but they weren't gonna give you your money back. Now I believe they filed like a whole class action lawsuit with that or something like that, where they were like, oh, you know, if you were one of those people that you can get reimbursed like, I don't know, 38 cents, something like that. So there was also that controversy, as well as like when they just start, you know, piling on and on, it kind of turns people away, because it's like, I could just go shop at the place that doesn't have all of this. You know, I could just go shop at the place that is not getting called out every other day. So that is also something that led to people just shying away from Fashion Nova. And the last thing that I have that is a reason why people are turned off from Fashion Nova, but it is also a reason why people are, you know, kind of turning away from some of these fast fashion, because well, you'll understand in a second. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but in recent weeks, months, there has been this strong conversation on BBL fashion and people denouncing it. And if you don't know what I mean by BBL fashion, it's basically fashion that is only going to look good on someone who has the BBL body. And again, like I said, there are people who are naturally shaped like the BBL aesthetic, right? But I think at least I think, again, because I'm like, can we talk about something else at this point that I don't really get that far into it? But I think it's more so the BBL body where, like, no, it's a BBL body, you know, like ribs were removed for, you know, a smaller waist type, like the waist to hip to butt ratios are off kind of thing. I'm assuming that's the type of BBL we're talking about here with this fashion. But the fashion where it's going to be a lot of see-through, a lot of mesh, a lot of fishnet, a lot of spandex, latex, cutouts. They hate cutouts. A lot of like, where's the fabric type aesthetic. But I have pictures popping up, like examples of what is considered BBL fashion now, where people like who is wearing that if you didn't get surgery to be able to look good in it. Almost kind of like fashion where the clothes aren't cute, you're just cute in it because of your body type. That's a summary of BBL fashion. Now, like I said, yes, some of the other fast fashion companies sell BBL fashion, but Fashion Nova is a pioneer. It's one of the first ones that people think of when they think of, you know, a company that sells BBL fashion. And there are some things that I've seen on Fashion Nova that I haven't seen on other websites where even I'm like, okay, you're doing a little bit much. Like a little too much. Not even a little too much, you're doing a lot with that one. So they are, you know, again, probably because of how long they've been around. See, when you were the top brand and, you know, you're in everyone's faces, sometimes you catch more heat than, you know, some of your competitors because you're just the one that people automatically think of when they think of that, right? So selling BBL fashion, and then when you got the type of models that you have on that website, that it all circles back and it all just kind of turns everyone away from your company. You know, very random, but I remember, you guys know Jody. You know Jody. She is the face, to me, she is the face of Fashion Nova. You know, yes, I think of Cardi, yes, I think of Black China, but if you have seen Jody, you see her and you automatically, literally, I can't tell you how many times I've seen, is that the Fashion Nova girl? Is that the Fashion Nova girl? Is that the Fashion Nova girl? Now, she has also modeled for, you know, Pretty Little Thing. I think I've seen her on Boohoo. She's around. She has been around for boutique modeling. You know, she stays booked and busy. Let's just say that. But like I said, in my mind, she is the face of Fashion Nova. So imagine how surprised I was, because I follow her on Instagram. She had posted on her Instagram story where she had said something like, Fashion Nova, please let me out of this contract. Like, the face of the company, this kind of goes back to the controversy things that turns people away. She was like, please let me out of this devil contract, okay? Like, you done took my blood, you took my soul, like, what else do you want from me to let me out of this contract? And it's like, the face of the company is begging to be released from working with this company. Again, it all just ties back to, this is not a good look for you. So with all that being said, is it too late for Fashion Nova to make a comeback? No. Do I think Fashion Nova is gonna make a comeback? No, I do not. Which you're probably like, okay, but if it's not too late, then why aren't they going to? Because I don't think they have to. Even though people are starting to feel more and more that way of Fashion Nova, do not get it twisted, okay? There is still a very large demographic out there where it's like, oh, I gotta fly out on Saturday, today is Tuesday, who can I, you know, overnight ship and get a 70% off sale? Let me just pull up Fashion Nova, okay? There's a very large demographic that's still going to shop with Fashion Nova. They are still, if you were to tell someone, name popular social media fast fashion companies, I can say Fashion Nova is probably going to be like top 5 for a lot of people that you ask. It is still a very popular brand, which is something I feel like people don't get with these videos. I feel like, again, I say this all the time, like people listen to these videos and think that I'm saying the company is going to shut down tomorrow. Like it's a downfall. Now they're going out of business, which mind you, I think only like 2 companies I've talked about have actually gone out of business, and one was out of business by the time I already did the video. That's not what it means, okay? It just means it's possible for you to not be as popular as you once were. You can still be popular, you're just not that popular anymore. And you can be popular, you can kind of fall off, you're not as popular anymore, and then guess what? You can become as popular as you were before. I think Coach is an example of that, right? People are like, oh, now everyone wants to wear Coach again. Yes, okay, you go through, that's the point of public relations. You're supposed to follow all of those trends. So I I think they are still very much so a popular fast fashion, you know, social media trendy company to shop from. I just don't think they'll be as popular as they were before. Again, especially like the face of the company, the model, who probably models 90% of the stuff on there, is like, I don't want to be here anymore. At some point, they're going to phase out the models that they have there. They're going to bring in new ones. And it's just kind of gonna go on as it is. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like these the clothing fast fashion companies, they're starting to incorporate more and more. You know, they're selling ponytails, they're selling home decor, they're selling dildos. Like they're incorporating more and more and more. And I feel like a lot of these fast fashion companies, that they're gonna become like online Targets. You know, Target, you can go into Target, you can get clothes, you can get books, you can get groceries for the people that are getting groceries at Target. Like you can get all that stuff. Like a lot of these a lot of these social media, like online pages, are starting to become that. They're starting to grow because it's like, okay, we're popular, we're trendy, but at this point, it's money. We're gonna start bringing in more and more and more on our site so we can make more and more and more type of money, so you can get all of that stuff and, you know, overnight, express it, all that other stuff. So I feel like that is going to be where Fashion Nova and, you know, their competitors, the similar type of brands are going to be focused on. I feel like they're not focused, but they're not going to, you know, how are we going to get back to being like the top of the top of fast fashion brand? Because they're still popular, they're still good where they are, and now it's kind of like it's not like a going up this way, it's a going out this way. Like I'm gonna dip my hands into more and more, as opposed to, oh, my clothes have to be the top, the best of the best type thing. Y'all, I'm so annoyed. I literally already finished the video, wrapped up what I was saying, ended it. See you next time. Bye. Just to look at the clip and realize it cut me off with the last thing that I was saying, because I guess space on the SD card. So I don't even remember what the last thing I was saying was, but to quickly wrap this video up, basically I feel like Fashion Nova is at a plateau, and it's gonna take something very drastic to happen for it to move in either direction. It's gonna take something very drastic to happen for, you know, for it to hit a full downfall, they're going out of business type thing. It's gonna take something very drastic to happen for it to, you know, rise back up to the top, and like it's the go-to place for everyone to get an outfit from. Either way, really dramatic, but for now it's just gonna stay where it is right now. It's just, you know, it's a cool place to get some clothes from for some people. So that is it for this video. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on Fashion Nova. If you shop there, if you don't, why? Either way, let me know all of that down below. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells, all of that, guess where, down below. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.